So if you don't know me, I'm Patrick McCann from the University of Glasgow. So, as a quick review of the UNESCO Cultural Testbed, and it's just really a brief outline of the thinking behind it and what the issues involved. The UNESCO World Heritage List, as you can see here, it includes 890 properties forming the cultural and natural heritage which the World Heritage Committee considers to have outstanding value. This ranges from entire cities. The city of Edinburgh, for example, is a World Heritage Site, to individual monuments and buildings such as the Sydney Opera House, for example. The way a site becomes a World Heritage Site is that to start with, the member state, a member of the UN that is, would make a tentative list of properties or sites that it considers may be suitable for submitting for World Heritage status. The World Heritage Centre will help the state to put together a nomination file for a specified property from its tentative list. Once this is complete, the Centre will review it and send it to advisory bodies for evaluation. The World Heritage Committee then meets once a year to decide which sites, which submitted sites will be inscribed on the World Heritage List. And so the criteria for inscription are available in the operational guidelines of the World Heritage Convention. And the World Heritage List is available for you to browse online at the address you can see there, whc.unesco.org. A screenshot of it there. The website contains some key data according to do with each World Heritage Site, general description, maps, documents, images, and details of threats to the site. The documents include all the advisory body evaluation from the submission process, the nomination file that was prepared by the state with the help of the World Heritage Centre, and the decisions taken, details of the decisions by the World Heritage Committee. Physical materials typically submitted as part of the nomination file include legal documentation, maps, pictures, slides, and other bibliography related to the site. When digital materials are submitted, they are collated in a single PDF document. The original files under the current process are discarded, and the PDF is kept as the sole record of the digital material submitted by UNESCO. So accordingly, that material is then limited to text and images. And more materials in nomination files are digital rather than physical files, or physical materials, and are increasingly more complex than simple text and images or standard document files. And the current procedures are inadequate for coping with these issues. Even with standard text and images, the loss of originals submitted is unfortunate, and there's currently little capability for coping with more complex objects. And so the preservation of digital data has become a new concern for UNESCO. So the amount of data being generated is increasing hugely. The standards and protocols, as we know, relating to technologies are changing rapidly, and as we move forward, we may lose the ability to access what was recorded previously. For example, it is estimated that 44% of websites that existed a decade ago have vanished. Because of international concern over the loss of digital knowledge, UNESCO was prompted in 2003 to adopt the Charter on, UNESCO was prompted to adopt the Charter on the Preservation of Digital Heritage. The Charter presents the key principles to be adopted by UNESCO's member states in order to ensure the ongoing protection of digital heritage. It outlines the arguments for guarding against the loss of digital heritage, the measures required to protect and preserve digital heritage, and the roles and responsibilities of UNESCO and member states towards ensuring the preservation of digital heritage. So more and more digital data was being produced every day at UNESCO and being received by UNESCO. After the adoption of the Charter, the organisation became more aware of the threats facing the digital data that it held. And they need to start, they recognise the need to start preserving the data effectively within the organisation, which is where the CASPAR solution comes in. And I have an example here. You may have heard previously of the Buddhas of Bamiyan in Afghanistan. They were a World Heritage Site, two huge statues in a cliff in the Bamiyan Valley in Afghanistan, dating from the 6th century. In 2001, they were destroyed by the Taliban. And after the destruction, a reconstruction campaign was started. Images from the internet, including photos taken by tourists and high-resolution metric photographs, were scanned. The images were matched to extract 3D points. A point cloud was created in order to get surface triangulation. It's followed by texture mapping and visualization. And these are examples of some of the images. On the left, you see some of the images that were used. On your right, if you're facing the screen, that were used, and on the left, you can see. They were photographs taken, as I recall, and this isn't Mary's part of the slide, but they were taken in the 70s and included objects as a scale next to the objects being photographed, so that it was possible to determine the scale of the objects from those. Though I believe there were only a very small number of those. I think there may only have been 3. And so after the triangulation of the point cloud, 3D surface was obtained. And then the computer model was used to reconstruct a physical model of the Great Buddha of Bamiyan. The point cloud was imported into a digitally programmed machine, and the 1:200 scale model statue was recreated. So moving back again to CASPAR and how we propose to preserve this data. Some details here of some of the components we're using. The DAMS, PAC, PDS and PALM ones, the Preservation Orchestration Manager, principally. And the application that has been created is a web application, which is a prototype to demonstrate how CASPAR digital preservation concepts and practices can be incorporated into the World Heritage inscription workflow. And users can browse and search submitted World Heritage Site data and associated materials. Users with appropriate privileges can submit material pertaining to sites and attach appropriate representation information. You can manage the designated communities to which different users of the sites belong to, and send and receive notifications about events relevant to the stored materials. Those notifications can be sent automatically according to actions taken within the site, or can be sent manually on a range of topics.